Hello everybody! And of course, the second I press record, so a notification goes off. Anyway, hello everybody, Patrick here. And today, we are taking a look at, my very first version of this character. Yeah, I've never owned, this character before. Like, zero version of him. So this is actually kind of exciting, and I think I ended up getting probably the best modern version of him. Again, this is my only version, but still. Today we are taking a look at Transformers Studio Series 86, Thundercracker. Yeah, this is my only Thundercracker I've ever owned. Because usually he's exclusives, or I didn't have the money, blah 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 blah. So I, went out and I got this guy from Amazon shortly after he released. So yeah, he looks good. I do quite like him. This is probably the best modern G1 Seeker mold. I had the Earthrise Starscream, and it wasn't bad. I quite liked it. But I know a lot of people didn't. And, that's completely fair. Everyone has their own taste. But, yeah, so let's get in close on some details. Got a nice orange cockpit there, which does open. Got a little bit of an interior there. It's not painted or anything, but, you got some gray blocks back here, which I think are supposed to represent his, arms. I think. I don't know. Some nice panel lining on the jet. Got the thrusters. They are technically blast effect compatible. It just takes a lot of work. But, technically. Yeah. Flip around to the underside. You got, the legs. You got this hollow section right here, which is where the nose cone goes in robot mode. Yeah. All in all, I actually really like this jet. Got some nice Decepticon emblems right there. Part of me wants to get another one and throw some Autobot symbols on him. Because Skybound reference, ha ha ha. Yeah, he does have, a front landing gear. Doesn't roll, but, and his feet kind of act as the back landing gear. Yeah, all in all, I do quite like him. For comparison, here he is with the 86 Optimus mold. This is Nemesis, but So yeah. He is bigger than the truck, but he's also comically small compared to a truck. Yeah. And here he is with Age of the Primes Blast Off. As you can see, now instead of being comically small compared to it, he's comically big. And this is comically small. Yeah. I do quite enjoy this figure. As I don't own any Thundercrackers other than this, I can't do comparisons to them. I'd pull out 86 Megatron, but I'm too lazy. But, yeah. So, that's about all the jet can do. I mean, you have the null rays right here. I believe they're blast effect compatible. Let me see. Do I have a blast effect over here? I do. Yeah, I believe they're blast effect compatible. And not really. I mean, yeah, but, yeah. Wonder if I can actually show that, his boosters are compatible. You just have to squish them in. You have to squish them in, but yeah. Anyway, transformation. I'm going to go ahead and raise my camera because he's going to get tall, and it gives me a little opportunity to work with stuff. Alright, so first thing you're going to do is remove his null rays. They do plug in. You do have two spaces to plug them in. You can plug them into this outer port right here, or this inner port. The inner port, does feel like it kind of skews them a little bit, but, That inner port is more for something in robot mode, which we'll take a look at later. Yeah, so first you're going to collapse the tail fins. Kind of move this section out a little bit so you can bring it up. You can see there's a little tab right there that'll go into that, right there. So you gotta, bring it out a little bit. And now you can untab the wings and bring them up. Make sure that when you bring them up, they don't hit the arm and rotate it, because that will, that'll just ruin your whole day. Yeah, you can see it kind of, you can kind of see where the wings, try to tab in. Anyway, you're going to want to then take this section and pop it up like this. Just bring it up for now. You can take these and rotate them like this. As you can see, there's another little circular port right there that'll, it'll just kind of soft thoop into place. And bring the feet down. They do click. You can open these back sections right here. And I find it helps if you, kind of wedge your finger in right here to untab them. I undid the feet. Yeah, so do that and then shift it up slightly. Just shift it up, and then these will come back in. For jet mode, they tab into these top section, right below the knee. For robot, they plug in at the bottom one. So you can kind of see that. You can then split the legs. Alright, what do we do next? We fold up the landing gear. I should have done that earlier. You're going to want to untab the chest from, or you're going to want to bring this nose cone down a little bit. Then untab it. You can see there's these little tabs that go into these ports right here. You can then, shift out the arms. Bring these sections down. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fold this section of the nose cone up, bring this down, and just kind of slide it down like this. And then that will also split this back section. It should split this back section like that. There you go. You're going to want to bring it down and make sure you slide it back so that way it locks into place. We're almost done. Then you want to come in here, pull this panel down, flip out the hand, close that back up. Same thing on the opposite side. Want to make sure the head is shifted forward. Then, of course, you can take the null rays, you can plug them back onto the wings, but, But you're supposed to plug them into the arms to recreate that classic Seeker look. And here you go. There is Studio Series 86 Thundercracker in robot mode. And he looks great, honestly. I fucking love this. But yeah, I think he looks great. It's getting close on that head sculpt. Yeah. He's got a little bit of personality to him. The head is light piped, but the eyes are also painted over, so it gives a really weird effect. Yeah. He's pretty flat detail-wise, but that's just the G1, cartoon models. Want to make sure all this is situated. Yeah, the back is relatively clean. I mean, it's traditional Seeker, so... yeah. Now, if you don't like the tail fins on the wings, there is something you can do about that. You can just pop them off. They're on 5mm ports, so if you want, you can also hold them. I don't know why you'd want that, but you can take them, and you can plug them into either port, if you think that, looks better. But I believe these ports are actually meant for, the closest ports are meant for these, because it just completely hides the wing. If you want a, cleaner, more accurate, more cartoon accurate leg, you can do that. I personally like the tail fins on the legs, so. But yeah. So, getting down to articulation, the head is on a ball joint. You can get some, nice rotation, a little bit of tilt. You can look up about that far. You can look down about that far because the head is also on a shifting plate. Shoulders can do a full 360, but they get, the wings get in the way. And unlike the Earthrise mold, you can't fold the wings back to get them out of the way, but, that's fine. Then go upwards, that far, you have bicep rotation, about 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, you have wrist rotation, waist does rotate, not that far, but, do you really need it to rotate any more than this? It can also come untabbed. The legs, you do have these little hip skirts right here, which can fold up to accommodate your leg movement. The legs can go up about that far. If you have the waist rotated and then bring that up, you can, get that skirt out a little bit more, but then that also kind of clashes. He does have a single hip skirt, which I'm not the biggest fan of, because if you move one leg, it, exposes all that. The chest detailing also does kind of get a little bit in the way of the hip skirt, but you can still kick that far forward. You can kick that far back. You do have the thigh rotation. You have 90 degrees of bend at the knee. You got ankle tilt. And if you unnet clip the foot, you can get a toe joint. So yeah, this guy is pretty damn posable. Like I said, I really like this figure. I do want to get the other two, Skywarp and Starscream. But yeah. I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs. Anyway, but yeah, yeah, I do really like this guy. I highly recommend him. For comparison, here he is with my knockoff of 86 Optimus. As you can see, that's about right. That's about right for show scaling. And here he is with Blastoff. So, there you go. Anyway, guys. Trying to get him into a pose for the end of the video, and I did just remember that if you have the waist rotated, it does kind of hamper the hip skirt going, or the, skirt going upwards, so there is that little limitation too. But he's still a great figure. But anyway, guys, that has been my review of 86 86 Thundercracker. I do really like this figure. Also just showing that you can actually use that toe joint for articulation, or posing. Anyway, I do really like this. This is my only Thundercracker figure, and I think I'm okay with that, actually. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!